Famous people who passed away in 1743. This is the second part. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Alexandro François Duporte. He was born in February 1661 and he died in April 1743. His age was 82 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. A French painter, celebrated for his vivid depictions of hunting scenes and still-life compositions, popular among French nobility. He painted portraits of John III, Sobieski, and Polish aristocrats. After the king's death, he returned to Paris, convinced that he should specialize in animals and flowers. He was received by Académie de Peinture at the sculpture in 1699 with the self-portrait in hunting dress, now in the Musée du Louvre. In 1712 and 13, he spent 6 months in England. He received many commissions for decorative panels for the royal chateau. He also did decorative paintings for the Duc de Bourbon at Chantilly. Both Louis XIV and Louis XV commissioned portraits of their favorite hunting dogs. Moritz Georg Weidmann. He was born in January 1686 and he died in May 1743. His age was 57 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. A prominent German bookseller and publisher who helped disseminate scientific and philosophical works in the 18th century Europe. He was a German bookseller and publisher based in Leipzig, accredited to the courts of Poland and Electorate of Saxony. He was the son of Moritz Georg Weidmann Sr. He entered the business in 1713 as a partner and in 1717 took complete control of his father's bookstore, which his stepfather, Johann Ludwig, had managed for him since 1694. Early in 1734, Weidmann introduced a magazine of news of the European states in competition with Johann Heinrich Zadler monthly cabinet magazine. When Zadler attempted to boost sales through a book lottery, Weidmann was the leader of the booksellers opposing the innovation. Alexandro Meline V Schillberg. She was born in December 1667 and she died in May 1743. Her age was 75 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. She was a German noblewoman and longtime mistress of King George I. She wielded significant influence in the English court. Once a maid of honor to Electress Sophia, she became a mistress of the Electoral Prince George Louis. George Louis succeeded as Elector of Hanover in 1698 and King of Great Britain as George I in 1714. She moved with him to England and on 18 July 1716 was created for life Duchess of Munster, Marchioness of Dungannon, Countess of Dungannon, and Baroness Dundalk in the Peerage of Ireland. On 19 March 1719, she was further created Duchess of Kendal, Countess of Feversham, and Baroness Glastonbury in the Peerage of Great Britain. In 1723, Charles VI, Holy Roman Emperor, created her Princess of Eberstein. Jean-Paul Mignon. He was born in September 1662 and he died in March 1743. His age was 80 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. A French priest and scholar known for directing the Bibliothèque du Roi and his role in organizing its vast collection. He was a French ecclesiastic, statesman, writer and preacher and librarian to Louis XIV of France. His protégé, Joseph Piron de Proutoneport, named the genus Bignonia after him in 1694, and in 1691 he completed his studies and was ordained to the priesthood. In 1693 he was made commendatory abbot of St. Constance and preacher to King Louis. He was also appointed to succeed to seat 20 in the commission. He was charged by Minister Colbert to head the Binion Commission, which investigated the feasibility and then began the compilation of a guide to French artistic and industrial processes, published in the following century as the descriptions of the art and trades. Amara Von Duan. She was born in May 1669 and she died in March 1743. Her age was 73 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. A Swedish noblewoman and confidante of Queen Ulrika Eleonora, known for her influence in the Swedish court, probably born in Stockholm. Mensa was initially employed as a chambermaid at the court of the Queen Ulrika Eleonora. In 1690, she was made responsible for Princess Ulrika Eleonora. In 1707, Mensa was ennobled along with her brothers. In 1717, she officially became Lady-in-Waiting, and in 1719, she was given the title Baroness. She had the same position with Ulrika Eleonora, which Giovanni Schillberg had to the elder princess, Frederick Sophia of Sweden. She stood by Ulrika's side her entire life as her supporter and advisor and enjoyed great influence, for better and for worse, nurturing, serving, accompanying, and comforting. She was described as a religious bigot and was envied, but she never was a subject of slander. Carl Frederick, Duke of Saxe-Meiningen. He was born in March 1712 and he died in March 1743. His age was 30 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. A German duke who fostered cultural and scientific growth in his duchy, promoting the Enlightenment ideals of his era. Karl inherited the Duchy of Saxe-Meiningen when his father died in 1724, along with his elder brother Ernst Ludwig II, under the guardianship of his uncle Frederick Wilhelm and Anton Ulrich until 1733. When his older brother died unmarried in 1729, Carl Frederick ruled alone until his death. Like his brother, he never married, and after his death was succeeded by his uncle, Frederick Wilhelm. He was the fourth, but third, surviving son of Ernest Ludwig I, Duke of Saxe-Meiningen, and his first wife, Dorothea Maria of Saxe-Gotha-Altenburg. Ferdinando Galli Viana. He was born in August 1657 and he died in January 1743. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. An influential Italian architect and painter known for his intricate scenic designs and contributions to Baroque theatre and architecture. In 1708, he was called to Barcelona to organize the decorations in connection with the wedding festivities of the future Roman Emperor Charles VI. Following his accession, Viana traveled to Vienna, where he worked on designs of scenery and decorations for court festivities and opera performances. In his decorations for the theater and festivities, Viana replaced the central axis with a diagonal axis, introducing an angular perspective. From about 1690 to 1787, Vianas designed and painted for many of the courts of Europe with intricate settings for operas, weddings, and funerals. The Habsburg were their most generous patrons. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.